Okay, this is day 3 of talking about something for 10 minutes a day, and today I will be talking about my top 4 letterboxed movies. However, there is a caveat to this because I am in search for new top 4 ones. Actually, there are 2 that I don't think will ever leave, but the last 2, I think I just have them because there's like some nostalgia tied to it, but also like I don't really know. So without further ado, starting at okay, let me talk about the 2 that I'm like iffy about. One is Top Gun Maverick. I say this because I still really like the movie, but I just don't know if it is like a top 4 worthy movie for me. I really like how there is a balance of everything. There is like family, there is found family, there is romance, there is action. It just like bam 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 hits. Cinematically, it is really beautiful, and the action shots are good, and also like the effort done to make this movie, like yeah. But it's not like I don't think about it all the time, you know? Which, I mean, maybe there's beauty in that, like, that I don't have to, like, constantly be thinking about it. But that's like, my runner-up for maybe, like, it can easily be, like, popped off the top 4 list. Number 2 is Spider-Man Homecoming, specifically Spider-Man Homecoming. And the reason why that is in my top 4 is because I watched that movie, like, kid you not, like 10 times. Yeah, because I have a memory in like middle school, and I had this like gigantic, like, you know those box TVs that were like, I don't even like, yeah, they were just box TVs, and like you could put what do you call them? I'm blanking. DVD players. Well, it had a DVD player, and like you can just put your DVDs inside to watch a movie. I just remember one Christmas, one of my friends, or maybe I bought it, I had like the Spider-Man Homecoming DVD, and I got one of like those big box TVs from somebody, like someone from my family gave it to me, and they were like, put it in your room, and I was like, okay. And I would just have that movie playing on in the background. Like, for some reason, it is like, again, one of those like balanced things of like there's action, there's romance, there's like a coming of age vibe to it, and I can probably like recite a lot of those lines like back to you. And so for that, like, it is like in my top 4 letterbox movies. But again, there's like a nostalgia factor to it, and I can like easily, I don't know. Again, like, don't really think about it, and yeah, just my thoughts on that. However, those 2 are like my iffy ones, but my top 2 that I don't think will ever really be replaced unless, I don't know, there's like a hierarchy to them. These are like my top 2, and then these 2 are like the ones that I can like easily bump. And the first one, I will say, actually, there's not really an order to them. First is 20th Century Girl. It is a Korean movie that just is like, oh. Anyway, sorry, I just got a text. That is just like cinematically one of the most like beautiful things I've ever like laid my eyes on. It was just like the color grading, the nostalgia feel, the romance, and that movie just like anyways, I can't even put it into words, but it is so pretty. And I have on my Pinterest, I literally have like shots of the movie because there's just like things that I like so visually appealing about it. But not only that, it is like a very coming of age movie, and something about the top 2 movies that I have is that it like made me cry, sob. Like, I was not okay for a while after watching that movie, because I was like, it just like hit me in like the best way possible, kind of in the worst way possible. I can't really find any stills of it, but yeah, I just love looking at the stills for this movie. And why don't I just tell you about it, actually? So it follows this girl, and her best friend are like besties forever. But one of them, she has to go to America because she's getting open heart transplant surgery. And so she's like, okay, I'm gonna go. However, there's this guy. I think he's really, really cute, and I need you to keep tabs on him while we're gone, or while I'm gone. And so she's like, okay, I'll do that for you. Like, and that in her way was sort of like her connection to her, and was like, oh my gosh, she's dealing with this like big thing. This is the least I can do for her. And so she goes to America, and she's like, ooh, I'm gonna like keep an eye out for this guy. And the only thing she knows about him is, the only thing she tells him is his name. And she's like, this is the guy you need to look out for. And she's like, yes, okay. And so she goes and she finds the guy, and she's like, oh, like, I've got to keep tabs on you. But he has a best friend. Yeah, he has a best friend that like they are hanging out all the time, and she starts falling for the best friend. And there's something with that too, but they all form a friendship with each other. But then there's also the aspect of how she like gets into this club for like media majors, not majors because they're in high school, but like for medias, the media journalism club. And she starts like learning her passion for that, and the guy's best friend is also in that club. And because he actually enjoys it, but she's like, oh, I'm gonna do it because like I like him, you know, like I think he's cute. And so she joins the club too, and they both like have like are interested in like this idea of like media and cinema, and like as a result makes it so like coming of age, and they're trying to find their passion and their feelings for each other, and it's just such an innocent, like, cute movie. And it did wreck me. I will say the top 2 movies in my list made me cry and sob and think about my life for a while afterwards, and I think that's why they are my favorite, because like you gotta think about like hello? You gotta think about it, like a writer wrote this and was like, these are the characters I'm gonna have, and it's gonna be portrayed like this, and like with the director and like the whole team was like, I'm gonna portray it like this so that it can appeal to the audience. And I'm like, I don't know these people are fake, but I'm over here crying for them. Like, that's why I really enjoyed them. And yeah, so then that brings me to my other Letterboxd movie, and that is the it's called Past Lives, and I think it's 20th Century Girl is also on Netflix. I think Past Lives is also on Netflix. It may have been removed, but I'm pretty sure it's still on. It is also kind of a Korean movie. It is a Korean movie, but there's also like English to it. But essentially, Past Lives it follows like a girl and a guy who were like best of friends when they were younger, but the girl ends up moving to, I want to say New York. I could be wrong, but she moves to New York and kind of like loses touch with the guy, but then somehow like when they're older they reconnect with each other, and there's just always been like some chemistry between the two, but then like they reconnect when they're a little older, and then they stop talking again, and then like when they're way older, not way older, but like a few years later, they finally reconnect and like meet, but there's like, she has her own life, he has his own life, and it's kind of like I don't want to spoil too much, but it just like follows that sort of like cadence. And that movie made me sob. And it made me sob for reasons that like personally I relate to, but also just like, again, the factor that like these are characters that I have never even met, but I'm like, yeah, you made me cry and I don't even know you, you're not even real. And again, cinematically, very beautiful, like very beautiful shots, and the storyline was really good. And so I think what stands out with those two is that first, the Koreans got it. Like, they have some cinema that is like, but also second, they just, the characters are people that I like feel attached to within like the span of like an hour and 30 or however long a movie is. Those movies are, and I'm like attached to them, and I don't even know these people, nor do they exist, you know. And so yeah, those are my top 4 Letterboxd, and that is me yapping for today. Let me know what your top 4 Letterboxd movies are, because I need recommendation. If you can't tell the vibe, I really like a movie that will kind of like pierce the heart a little bit. I don't know why, because like in the moment I'm like, why did I watch that? But then after I'm like, wow, that was a good movie, let's watch it again. Anyways, I love coming of age movies, like love the nostalgia vibe. And that's something I liked about 20th Century Girl, is that it was like based in the 90s, I want to say. And for some reason that time period to me is just like, wow, like I wasn't even born, like I was not even a thought in anyone's mind, but for some reason that was just like, oh, the good times. I'm like, girl, you weren't even alive. Anyways, that timeline, just that time period just speaks to me in some ways. Anyways, now I'm rambling, but yeah, let me know your top 4 if you have any suggestions or movies that are similar to this, or even TV shows, because I love me a good TV show, especially K-dramas. Love those. I've got a whole list. Maybe I'll talk about that next. Okay, bye.